Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the West Ham Daily. Fourth place. We're in fourth place. Champions League. Here we come. I mean, come on, people. It can't get any better than this, can it? Look at that. Fourth position. Um, after winning against Wolves on Monday night, we have leapfrogged over Chelsea and Liverpool and Spurs. Rightly so. They don't deserve to be where they are. We do, though. And it's all looking good, isn't it? 30 games in, 52 points. Our goal difference could have been a bit better had we not conceded those two goals. But hey, I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining at all. Just look at that. Fourth position in the league after 30 games. If anyone had turned that league table upside down, we'd all be thinking, yeah, that looks about right. Fourth from bottom. But it's not. We're fourth from top, and it is incredible. Now that we're back on a level playing field, no clubs below us have got an advantage over us with any games in hand, etc. Except, of course, for Everton and Villa. But even if Everton and Villa win their games, they won't be able to catch us up. So Champions League really is in our own hands. We keep winning. We keep getting the positive results. We could actually be there. So we've got two games coming up, which are really crucial. Of course, we've got Leicester coming up this weekend. Then we've got Newcastle and then Chelsea. But the Leicester and the Chelsea games are the ones that are going to make us really start dreaming, aren't they? Because if we win those games, if we get anything out of those two games, not only do we get closer to Leicester, by being only a point behind them, and they're in third place at the moment. But it will start to create a little bit of a gap below us, and it will start to make us really well. I'm dreaming already, but it's in our hands. There was, of course, massive concern when we heard the news at the beginning of the week that Declan is out injured. We know that he's going to be out for at least 4 weeks. It could be a lot longer. It really depends on how bad the injury is. He will miss the Leicester game. He will miss the Chelsea game. And obviously the Newcastle game and probably the Everton game coming up as well. They're our next four games. There is a fair chance that he might miss even more than that. But what's got to happen is that that the squad has got to step up. At present, we've got quite a number of players out injured. Declan, Yarmolenko, he's sort of just recovering, but he's still out injured. Darren Randolph, Ogbonna, even Lanzini's got a knock that he hasn't recovered from since the international games as well. So we've got quite a few people injured. So every time we get a player back, we get another injury, and it seems to be a bit of a yo-yo. But that is where the squad has stepped up. And if you think about what's happened over the past, this season, we've had Ben Johnson come in. We've had sporadically, we've had Darren Randolph come in. He's out injured at the moment himself. Craig Dawson, when we started the season, we had Balbuena and Balbuena and Ogbonna, and then it was Diop and Ogbonna, and then Dawson got his chance and he stepped up as well. And of course, our captain, Mark Noble, as well, when he's been needed, now that Declan is out injured, when he's been needed, he's been called upon as well. Now we're waiting on test results for Lingard, Souček, and Antonio, who all picked up knocks, and we think Antonio's got another hamstring problem. It looks like Lingard and Souček are going to be okay. There's slight knocks, but nothing serious. But Antonio could be another hamstring. We don't know. There are going to be tests, but that is where the squad, the depth itself needs to sort of come to its fruition, I guess. And over the course of the season, as I said, that there's been we've even had, we were asking ourselves, are we going to cope without Ogbonna? Are we going to cope without Fabianski? Are we going to cope without Antonio? And every time those players have gone out injured, we've seen someone step in and we've seen someone do a job for us. I mean, who would have thought? I remember saying, almost being really quite dismissive of Craig Dawson and suggesting that he was never going to fill in. He was never going to get a game. I didn't even think he was even going to get a Premier League game. He was just making up the numbers. He's become, a pivot point in our defence. Antonio, when he went out on his, a couple of times now this season with hamstring injuries, we thought, well, we're not going to survive that, but we managed to do so. And it goes on, and I think that's the strength and depth that we have. And of course, the big talking point in the Wolves game was all about Mark Noble. The fan base was split. How the hell can David Moyes bring Mark Noble in? He's nothing like Declan, etc., etc. We know that Noble isn't the player that we once knew in terms of his ability, etc., etc. But when he is called upon, he tries to put the best he can, and in the game against Wolves, when Wolves were playing their original formation, I think Noble was playing really well, etc. But when Wolves changed their formation to a 4-4-2, it seemed that Noble, well, mind you, it seemed that the whole team struggled. But having said that, against Wolves, Mark Noble made 3 tackles, 4 interceptions, 1 block, and had a 90% pass success rate. That's not bad, really. That's not bad. Now, as the game wore on, I did suggest in the watch along that the game was beginning to pass him by a little bit, and I think that was because of the change of formation. But the one thing that from Mark Noble is that he will put every effort he can in. He may not be what he was in the past, but as it stands, he's the best we've got with Declan out. And I'm asking myself now, can he do this again for the next 8 games, for the last 8 games of the season, if we need him to? It's going to be interesting to see. For me, Noble's had 2 really, really good games this season. The defeat, it was a defeat against Man United in the FA Cup, but I think he played really, really well. And the game against Wolves last night. So that's it. It's really just to sort of talk about, we're 4th place. The strength and depth in our squad. Moyes has got the team, the squad, thinking in the same manner. There are players in the squad that you might think, deserve, or they might feel that they deserve more game time, or a lot of fans might feel they deserve a lot more game time. Players like Benrahma not getting a look in. I saw, people were upset again last night when they saw that Benrahma was benched. But I could understand that. I knew that Moyes was going to go a little bit defensive minded. I was kind of surprised that Masuaku started, but in all fairness, Masuaku, he had a decent game as well. He set up the goal for Fornals. Both players came back from injury, Fornals and Masuaku, and they were both, Masuaku set up Fornals' goal for our goal, our second goal of the game. So that's what a squad needs to be. A squad needs to be all about when one player goes out, another player can step in and pick up from where the other player left off. Ben Johnson, another example of when Masuaku went out, Ben Johnson got an opportunity. There were a couple of games when Johnson, you might think, was in a way still learning his trade. But when a player is played out of position, we all know that Ben Johnson's right-footed. He should be playing out on the right, but he was put out on the left to cover for Masuaku. He did an okay job. He did a decent job. Mark Noble coming in for Declan Rice. Done a decent job. Darren Randolph, in just the few games that Fabianski missed, did okay. Half decent job. We've been talking about the lack of depth in our squad throughout the season and how that is going to hinder us. And we're all sort of like, when we heard Declan was going to go out, it was like, well, that's it, game over, season over. There goes our chances of the top 6, top 4, top whatever. And yet, we pulled out a great result. Now, okay, admittedly, it was a bit nail-biting when it was 3-1 at half-time. Everyone started to think, here we go again, another Arsenal scenario. But you know what? We pulled it round and we held on. And I know we're going to, there's one player that we got to look at and go, without him, where would we be? Which is Jesse Lingard. But let's think. Lingard's only been with us a couple of months. It's not as if we were doing badly before Lingard arrived. So he's come in, and it's almost like the cherry on the icing on the top of the cake. He's been absolutely amazing. So there we are, squad, a proper squad, despite the fact that we don't have, a full squad, is playing to the best of its ability. And if that is going to continue, I genuinely see Champions League coming our way. I'm dreaming. I don't care. I think I have a right to dream, and I think every West Ham fan has a right to dream. So that was it. It was really about the squad. It was really about strength in depth, which we actually do have, because Moyes has got players thinking in the same way. It's a squad. In this day and age, I remember when I was a kid. You know, when a long time ago, but I remember when I was a kid when you had 11 players out on the pitch and you had one sub. That was it. You know, back in the mid 70s, you had one sub, and then it went to three, I think, and now it's you got an army of subs on the bench. Okay, you could still use only three, but the difference is you now have choice. And what it seems to me is that whenever a player is called upon, they're putting their best in. You're not going to get 100% every single time. Yeah, of course not. Even the best players don't have their, top games every single time. But what we're doing is we're grinding out results. We're being positive, and even though we felt that the lineup that Moyes put out yesterday was a little bit defensive minded, Antonio and Lingard were on fire. I mean, Antonio, it's such a shame that Antonio has gone out injured again. It's such a shame, because you look at Antonio and you think to yourself, there's something there in that player that when he's on form, when he's fully on form, he's great. No one's going to be able to stop him. But he's pulled up on a hamstring. As I said, I don't know at this moment how bad it is. I know Antonio was upset that he came off, but I think it was the right thing to do. Given that Antonio, the history of his hamstrings isn't great, I think getting him off as a precaution, and making sure that he's okay, it was the right thing to do. And then we came in with a force number 9. Bowen, who was surprisingly for me was dropped, came in, scored an absolutely stunning goal. I mean, I'm trying to work out which was the best goal between the three that we scored against Wolves, and I'm sort of edging towards the Bowen goal. But look what's happening: a player gets dropped, puts on the bench, etc. No moaning, no bickering, gets on with it, and comes in and does the business. Even Benrahma, his little cameo role the last 15 minutes or so. People have been shouting out, Benrahma should be playing more time, getting more game time, etc., etc. His time will come, but it's a squad system. It's a squad game these days. So let's have a look at some comments just to finish off. Luke, hello, mate. Champions, is it too early to include the theme tune in videos, or is that more copyright? A lot more copyright. Happy Hammerette, I hope you're well. I hope work is going well. Do play it back later. Good morning, Michael. I hope you're well. Monday or Tuesday? Well, it's Tuesday here, mate. I don't know what day it is over there for you. Good morning to you, Aidan, at 10:40. Oh, it's good evening to you, Aidan, 10:45. Guess where? I can't remember, so do tell me. Plus or 24 hours put you in the same time zone location, Mr. Hall. Hello, Jake. I hope you're well. I hope you enjoyed yesterday and coming on the show, etc. By the way, thank you to Russ, who passed on the, he does his afternoon shows and he always mentions West Ham Irons United. So thank you to Russ. Watch Jake's unofficial shows as well. Really good. The young lad, he knows his stuff. So do watch Happy Hammer. Do watch West Ham Unofficial and My Hammers 11. Excellent channels to watch. Good afternoon, Stu. I hope you're well, mates. I hope you got over our excellent results last night. Patrick Walsh, morning still. Morning? Well, it's afternoon for me, but good morning to you. Not quite. I've got 2 more doors to do, Jake, and then I finished the painting. Thank God for that. Trini, hello, mate. Afternoon to you as well. I hope you're well. Hello, Ken. I hope you're well, mate. Do you know what date the ticket office is open? Today. For face-to-face renewals and the club shop being open. I don't know, mate, but I'm hazarding a guess. Given that the news that came out from the government yesterday, that was Monday, that things like, I think, hairdressers and stuff like that are going to be non-essential shops are going to be open. I think from next week, the 12th. I would expect the club shop to be open too. So I would give them a quick buzz, but maybe not today because they're going to be busy because it's a renewal day today. So those of you who've got season tickets, renewal is happening today. Toby, hello, mate. I want 7 points from Chelsea, Leicester and Everton. that would almost secure Champions League for us, wouldn't it? Really, but mind you, other games as well. They're not going to be any easier. There's Fat Sam and West Brom. He might, do one over on us. Michael, Aidan, don't know. There is then it is Far East somewhere. I don't know where you lot are. You lot are in luxurious places. I'm here in dreary London. Trini, Antonio went off. Lingard was feeling his hamstring, and Souček looked like he got a nasty cut from a kick. They all did. From what I understand, Souček and Lingard are okay. Antonio just needs to be checked out, and we just hope, it's nothing too serious. Gary Rutter, it's a great feeling at the moment. Let's enjoy it while we can. Absolutely. Happy Hammer. Hello, mate. Hey, everyone. We're all happy hammers today. Top team in London. Toby, for half an hour last night, Antonio was Antonio again. Haven't seen him properly in months. I absolutely agree. And I thought, because I was worried, and I have said it a couple of times in the past few weeks, that I think he should be rested. He looks like he needed rest. It looks like he got his rest because he was on fire. And that shot in the first few minutes of the game, when I think the goalie hit it on the post. I think it was a save. It looked like it hit the post, but I think the goalie tapped it onto the post. But he did look like he was back to his best, and then his hamstrings just sort of give up, don't they? It's such a shame, really. Toby, I was pro Noble before the game last night, but I have pretty serious doubts now. He did play well. I think he was getting tired. It was obvious. I think when they changed formation, it was obvious that he wasn't managing to keep up as much. And yeah, he's the best we've got. And at the moment, there isn't anybody else in the squad unless we end up playing Connor Coventry at the age of 21, or we end up putting a Paya for San in the academy squad through. I was actually surprised that Connor Coventry wasn't in, at least on the bench last night. So he's going to have 8 cup finals, Noble, and he's going to have to give us a performance, the type of performance that he did last night. He waned, as the game wore on, but I think most of the team did as well. Happy Hammer, sorry. Apart from Lingard, Noble was one man of the match, in my opinion. Good afternoon, Joan. Bowen, Benrahma and Lingard are great attacking players. 8 games to keep everyone fit. Well, that's the problem. We seem to be losing players every other week at the moment, which is a bit of a shame. Toby, first 30 maybe. Happy Hammer, he vanished after that. Who was that? That was Noble. I think a bit longer than that, but yeah. Happy Hammer, Noble just don't work with Souček and Rice, to be honest. Rice does what Noble used to do, in my opinion. 3rd place is there for the taking. Yeah, absolutely. Joan, Ogbonna needs to be back and be on form. That will shore up the back line. I do agree. I did ask during the game, what's happening with us? Because we were so solid. No, we are. We're not bad. But the last 2 Premier League games, we've conceded 5 goals, which is a little bit unusual. And I think Ogbonna is being missed. But I'm really worried about when Ogbonna's coming back as well. And I hope it's sooner rather than later. But I'm going to be a bit controversial here. I don't think Dawson's been at his best lately. Diop has been okay. I think they've been a bit, you could choose either of them to maybe drop for Ogbonna when he returns. It will probably be Diop. I think that would be a little bit harsh because I think Dawson has he's been okay, but not as solid as he was at earlier in the season, in my opinion. Gary Rutter, loved Antonio last night. Shame he went off. If he stayed on, the Wolves defence wouldn't know what hit him. Yeah, I agree, mate. But his hammies can't keep up. Gary, spot on. Gary's power running had the Wolves back line flapping. Sure did. Joan, Antonio was a beast. Hopefully he'll be back against Leicester. Might not happen, but let's see. Kane and Watkins. Hello, mate. The champions. Oh, we're dreaming, aren't we? We're absolutely dreaming. Toby, true happy they did, but he is in there as our captain. I was arguing for Noble before the game, but I think he might have been naive up to. I think I might have been naive up to me. I don't think we should give Noble too much stick because he does what he does. He can do to the best of his ability. Will he have 8 good games between now and the end of the season if Rice is out for all of them? Probably not. I think my fear is with Mark Noble is that there's a big danger that his legendary status could be severely dented if he has to play the last 8 games and he doesn't deliver. And I think I don't want to see fans turning on. Fans turn on him already, but we have a tendency to do that, don't we? If a player, it's ironic because as West Ham fans, we always say if the player puts in effort, that's all we can ask for, and we applaud them for it. Now, there's no saying that every time Mark Noble goes out on the pitch, he puts all his efforts in. Does he always deliver? No, because the Premier League is a fast league. It's really Noble can't last the whole 90 minutes. We know that. But that's not his fault, but he does put the effort in. So as fans, we should remember that and remember, it's not just about, being the best player on the pitch. It's putting the effort in. I've never seen a game when Mark Noble has never put the effort in. And I hope his legendary status doesn't get a knock because of the last sort of 8 games of this season. Bernie Bradnam, hello, mate. This is when you need to dig deep and show we can cut it as a top 4 team. Absolutely. If we want to be there, this is exactly that, Bernie. We need to, as a squad, everybody has to deliver in that squad. Every player that is told you're on has to deliver as best as they possibly can. Jay Woods, hello, mate. Lingard was world class. How much will United sell for? Well, I still think it's going to be up to around 20 million. It could creep up to 25 at most. They're not going to get much more than that, to be honest, but he is world class. Absolutely. Trini, Benny looked lost when he came on. I think Benrahma's the sort of player that needs to start rather than coming on as a sub for me. But there was no room for Benrahma, and I understand it. I didn't complain when I didn't see Benrahma's name on the bench. In the starting lineup. I kind of knew that Moyes was going to go a bit more defensive minded. And I have said that it's very, very possible that Benrahma will be coming off the bench more than he would want to between now and the end of the season. I can see that, to be honest. Ross, hello, mate. Really hope we get Champions League. My God, can you imagine? Patrick Walsh, agree about Benny. His defensive mind is still unsure. He's not a defensive-minded player. Moyes wants him to be a bit like what Bowen is on the right-hand side. He wants him to drop and pick the ball up from deep, etc. But he's not. He's not that sort of player. So it's difficult for him. He needs to learn because that's what Moyes wants out of him. Will it happen for him? I guess time will tell. John Hicks, hello, mate. Let the rest of the sorry about us. Let the rest. Didn't understand that, mate. Sorry. Try and type that again so I can understand what it was you wanted to say. Aidan, oh, you're in Brisbane. Is it hot there, Aidan? Bet it's hotter than here. Daniel McSee, West Ham are run terrible. Another show, Daniel. Another show. Happy Hammer. I just think Rice and Noble are similar. At least Souček offers more going forward, so I think he'll do well the next 3 or 4 games. And bring in Coventry for the last 20, maybe. I genuinely thought that Coventry would have been on the bench. It kind of surprised me that he wasn't. And I know what Moyes has said about these bubbles, the under-23 bubble and the senior squad bubble, and they can't mix, etc. No, because as I've said, Masuaku trained and played in the under-23s, and he came into the senior team. We've had Conor Coventry on the bench before. We had Frederick Alves on the bench for the senior team before, and they both playing for the under-23s as well. So maybe he just isn't convinced by Coventry. I don't know. Maybe it's just not. What else have we got? Joan, I'm going to play the match back. Enjoy it without the stress. Enjoy our goals. I bet Joan, you will still get stressed when it's 3-1, and you'll probably be thinking, "Hang on a minute, did we finish winning?" Vaclav, hello mate. I hope you're well. Ole, 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 ole. Congratulations from Prague. Who knows? We might meet Slavia Prague in the Champions League. Can you imagine that next season? We're drawn against Slavia Prague. That'd be one big party, wouldn't it? Imagine that. Happy Hammer. I was arguing with Daniel McSee in the TalkSport Live. He's a proper troll. I don't know who he is, but Daniel McSee, whoever you are, enjoy yourself. Let's not take yourself too seriously. Trini, who is Daniel McSee? If he's not a Hammer, what's he doing here? Well, yeah, we welcome any fan from any club. We've got a couple of regular viewers from like Arsenal fans and stuff like that. But you know, be respectful is all we ask you to be. Clive Treliving. I hope I got that right. Clive Treliving. Treliving. Clive Treliving. Sorry, mate. Surely we got to sign Lingard on a permanent. We absolutely want to. Yeah, absolutely. I won't mention that comment. Happy Hammer. He's a Celtic lad. Just hope he behaves. He was being naughty on TalkSport Live. Don't worry. Maybe he's not there anymore because I can't see any comments from him. Toby, Zach, bro, I've conceded the noble point, mate. He vanished yesterday after a solid 30 minutes. Well, I think the whole team kind of went 3-0 up, and almost the whole team vanished in a way. But anyway, it's still a win. Zach, need Coventry on the bench at least. I think so too. So I don't really understand why he's not. Toby, hope so, Zach. There's still hope for the first half hour, but against the Leicesters and Evertons, need another plan. I admit when I'm wrong. Yeah, you do have a point there. We do have a point. John, we are the team to look at. We are a side to beat. Oh, we absolutely are, John. Definitely agree with you. Luke Legend, well done, Moisey. Great result. Absolutely. Happy Hammer. Even this kid, Jaden February, he looks good and strong. He does. There's quite a few players in the West Ham under 23s that are good. Then the other player I mentioned the other day, Apai Forsan, another decent player. Connor Coventry, has already been mentioned. February again was really good. Hello, James. Shout out to Sufal. That boy was mustard last night. So Vlad shows Vlad some love. Yeah, brilliant. You know what a 5 million. I mean, can't believe it. Toby, Traore done him once for the goal, James. Other than that, he was his usual rock. And then James replied, blimey, Toby, he crossed the ball in. Where was Diop and Dawson? Well, you know, I think that was just sheer brute force. It's the sort of thing that we expect Antonio to do against opposition. Traore just did it. Traore, West Ham. How about that? As a longer term replacement to Antonio. Yeah, maybe. Zach, some say Noble is still sliding. If that landed on Traore, he would have been nicked for assault. If he caught him, I think he would have been sent off. I think he would have, really, if he'd have caught him. Luke, the whole team was excellent, I thought. Still think we give away the ball too often, but we certainly were deserved winners. Absolutely. Infinite. Hello, mate. Hello, everyone. What a delight to see us in fourth. It's all in our own hands. Absolutely true. Kevin David, we need a few forwards. We need a few forwards and a left back and another central midfielder. But other than that, we're and a new keeper to challenge Fabianski. But other than that, Kevin, we're doing all right. I'm going to wrap up. Moby Dick. Once Antonio went off, we could not hold up the play in their half. Yeah, it did change. Daniela Stewart. Hello, how are you? I agree with you on Lingard about 25 mil. He either comes to us or he stays at Man U. I cannot see Man U selling him to anyone other than top six. You know, I think up to 25 mil is going to be just right. I think it'll be 15 to 20, but it might have to be stretched to 25. But no more than that. He's on his last year. You know, if they do offer him an extended contract, he's going to ask for some sort of guarantees. What am I going to do? Bit part player? He ain't going to want to be a bit part player, especially with the quality that he's shown in the West Ham team. And he knows that if he comes to West Ham, he's top dog. He's number one. He will be picked, you know, regularly every single time. The only time he won't be picked is if he's injured or if he has a bad loss of form. But otherwise, he will be picked every single time. Whereas at Man U, you know he's going to be in, you know, there'll be a pecking order. So 25 mil will be the max, I think. But they'll be greedy bastards if they go to 25 mil. Moby, from Toby, we couldn't get hold of it. Even when he wasn't near the ball, two defenders had to follow him. I guess you're talking about Antonio. James, stat is for Benrahma. 2 games he played 90 minutes out of 23. I know, James, but, you know, I could totally get why he wasn't picked for the game. I was actually more surprised that Bowen got dropped rather than Benrahma. You know, I think Bowen was unlucky to get dropped, but it kind of fitted. You know, Fornals because he can drop, etc., and cover that midfield. gives a bit more assistance to Noble. Masuaku was the surprise, but a pleasant surprise. Gary Rutter, it's crazy considering we don't have a real striker. Yeah, it is crazy. Absolutely. Maybe Dick Sufal probably had his hand fractured and still played on. Tough as nails. I mean, he looked in pain, didn't he? He had it stamped on and it looked painful. But it's like, what did he say the other day? If you haven't broken your leg or something, you just play on. Just play on. What's the problem? Luke Legends, we scored 3 goals last night. We didn't need Benrahma. We needed a central midfielder. Oh, and a flipping striker to hold the ball up. A big lad, ideally. It'll come. It'll come. James, commentary is not good enough. He played over Dagenham and Redbridge for under 23s. Too lightweight and needs to go out on loan to Progress. Well, it'll be his last chance saloon because he's 21 years of age, and I did say that he might go the same way as Josh Cullen. Josh Cullen he was still playing for the under 23s at the age of 24, and he had to go. If you don't make it in the first team by the time you're 19, 20, 21, you're not likely to, unfortunately. You might sort of go to a low league team and build yourself up again. But for the Premier League, you got to be, Declan, Ben Johnson, those players showed true quality and have come through at a young age, both at 19. I think, did Johnson start at 18? Declan started at 18. But if you've got the true quality, you will make it. As you get older and you're under 23s, 21, 22, etc., it looks quite likely that you're not going to be doing it. Look at Odubeko. Okay, he didn't have a great game against Man United. 17, 18 years of age. He's now he'll probably get loaned out, but he'll come back strong. So if Moyes thinks that the youngsters are ready, he'll bring them in. That's why I'm a bit worried about Commentary. I really genuinely thought that Commentary was going to break through this season, but he hasn't quite done it yet. Last comment. Happy Hammer. At least Moyes can't go super defensive against Leicester and Chelsea because he can't play Rice and Souček and Noble in the middle. So at least we'll be a little bit more attacking with Fornals, who was excellent. Good point. And Ekwex, still waiting for Benrahma's goal. It will come. Right. It's only meant to be a 15, 20-minute show, and I've doubled that. So thank you all for watching. Watch tonight the Jake and Matt are on to do a rating show for the players. So do watch that tonight. I think it's on at 7 o'clock. I'm not 100% sure. So do look out for the notification. I've seen some new names up here. So if you've yet to subscribe to our channel, I hope you're enjoying it. Do subscribe and hit the like button and join us again for all our other shows. And we'll see you soon.